Let's bring the mic to the ground. We are at the Nyayo Gardens in Nakuru. Well, if you are watching us from anywhere around Nakuru, just come. The gates are open. As you know, Nyayo Gardens is a public garden. It's a public space. You can come in and you can join us in this conversation. But for now, we have very many fixers. Good morning, fixers. Morning. Very good. These fixers, some of them are residents of Nakuru. Some of them work for Nakuru as public officers. And I think one of them was supposed to be here, but he's not here because he's still switching on the sun. Or is he here? Is there a CCM for sun and such other related amenities? Iko mtu hapa. Ndio huyu. Mpatie yeye mic tafadhali. Tuanze na yeye.
Right.
Hey.
Tell us what we need to do. Ndio tuwashe jua.
Please. What's your name, sir?
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Mara Nelson, the CC in charge of water, environment, climate change, natural resource, and energy. So the sun is one of the natural resource, and it's one of the only free natural resource that we do enjoy. One of the reason or what is happening now, I think we are in Nakuru, and in mostly Nakuru at this particular time, particularly as we move to July, it normally gets very, very cold. So I think this is just a natural phenomena. And again, we might be experiencing some positive effect of climate change because since the beginning of July, we've had a continuous rain up to this particular time. These are some of the positive effect of climate change. And so really for natural resource, we just have to embrace how it is. And where possible, we can only do mitigation. Thank you.
Where possible, we can mitigation ni kunywa chai. Here, that's the only mitigation I can think of. But of course, we want to discuss quite a number of things with the people of Nakuru County. It's important for us to have conversations that move the needle forward as far as fixing the nation is concerned. And it is us to talk with the people of Nakuru, hear from them. So of course, if you're a resident, come through to Nyayo Gardens. Hashtag is Fixing the Nation and TV as well. You can send us your WhatsApp nation, send us your questions. Let us know what is happening in Nakuru, what's making you happy, what's making you unhappy. But I want to discuss money matters first. Tax is a painful thing to leave your pocket. But usually if and when a service is delivered, hako kauchungu kana dissipate kidogo. So I want to know from people who live and work in Nakuru, do you feel that your taxes are working for you? Do you see that? It is open to anyone here. Yes, Eric, as a resident of Nakuru?
To residents of Nakuru, not those who earn a salary from the residents of Nakuru. Yeah? Ndio hawa. Uko moja hapo patia.
Morning, Nation Fixers.
Good morning.
Kwa majina naitwa Mohamed Asman. Natoka loa biashara maeneo ya Bondeni. So kwanza ni kusema it's a good morning. And thank to the nation for giving us this opportunity to fix the nation. If Latif you will allow me, I'm good in English but I'm very fluent in Kiswahili.
Ongea hata Kiswahili pia. Hata sisi tuko fluent.
And unasema
kusikia Kiswahili.
Kuhusu taxes zetu.
Yes.
Issue ya taxes zetu tunaona saa zingine zinafanya kazi, saa zingine hazifanyi kazi. For instance, hii budget imesomwa jana na Mbadi. Kuna deficit ya 867 million kama sijakosea. Na hii 867 billion ni kumaanisha ni watatu overtax ama kuomba. Siku gani tutaanza kuishi na mkono yetu? Utakaki kukula mchele kila siku unaona panda mahindi. Sasa sisi tunataka tuanze kupandiwa mahindi. Tukule hii mahindi yenye sisi tunapanda because hii deficit inarudi kwetu sisi. The death ceiling kila siku wanaongeza tu. Hata tusikiagi kipungua. Tunasikiaga pesa inapunguzwa lakini tujui. Tunasikia tu imeongezeka 12 trillion. Sasa hii tena mpaka 30. Ni mpaka lini shughuli itaendelea hivi? Na kuhusu hii paki yetu, kwanza niseme asante kwa CEC wa environment. Ni kusafi kweli. Na inakuwaga open by the way, si leo tu. Inakuwaga open. Si tunakuja kulala huku kwenye job, saa zingine na tuendea mbaya, unakuja kupiga usingizi hapa hivi.
Okay.
Asante sana.
Na kwa county, right? Zile rates na levies na taxes ambazo mnalipa kwa county. Do you feel that they are actually serving you?
Yes, actually mimi nabebaga taxi. So si tunalipa kama hiyo parking fee kwa mwezi ni 2000. Na town iko poa. Ingawaje kulikuwa na mapotol huku mama alipokuwa Amerika walikuwa wameachilia kidogo, lakini vile amerudi mambo imekuwa sawa. Na kuhusu hospitali nilisikia Dr. Maura akiongelea issue za health. Health mimi inanipea uchungu sana. Mimi unajua natoka huko kwenye mama zetu wanazalia kwa nyumba. So issue ya medical kulikuwa na issue ya negligence like 2 to 3 months ago. Kuna watu waliachilia watu wanakufa mpaka kwa hospitali wa mama zetu. Na hiyo kitu mpaka waleo tujaijua ilifika wapi. So inatupea uchungu wengine kama sisi. Hiyo hospitali mimi hata sijui sisi wa health. Yeye ndo alikuwa anafaa kuja tuelezee mara mingi. Lakini na masisi wengine tunawajua huwa health hata tumjui. Imekuwa hiyo hospitali imekuwa ni mbaya. Na nafikiri walikuwa wanachukulia advantage kwa sababu labda madam hayuko. So saa hii nafikiri labda kama amekuja tupatiwe nini ilifanyika. Majibu hao watu wenye waliacha mama akakufa. Wenye walikuwa wanaacha mpaka mtu anaenda anazalia kwa mlango. Na ni issue yao kutusaidia ilifikia wapi.
Very good. Keep that in mind, Dr. Maura, and the CEC for Health, our Chief Officer for Health. If you're here, you'll respond to that. Asante for that. There's another resident. Huyo ndio kiranja wa Mike leo.
Yes. And I'll ask that we focus on our county taxes. National tutaingia pia kidogo, but maybe we can start from home.
Yeah.
Sindio?
Whether devolution is working and whether you're feeling the value for the money that you pay. Kuna kiranja mwingine wa Mike leo.
Ndio, yuko hapa.
Haya.
My name is Patrick Prince, and I'm a resident of Nakuru County, this great county 032. Very happy to be here. I think in our constitution, one of the most profound cornerstones is public participation and civic education. And it's important that nation media is actually leading from the front on that, providing a platform where people can actually talk and discuss issues with their elected and also county leadership. One of the things that I wanted to mention is about our guest for today, Dr. Maura. It's more or less a concern, a question, or a comment about what is happening. So Dr. Maura has been lucky enough to be part of this county since the inception of devolution. And he has what we'd call institutional memory in terms of how the structures were set up. But we've had challenges, we have to admit. Part of those challenges were that issue that was discussed about the closure of some medical facilities, and now the net effect of what that did to our public facilities as well. We've said here that 40% of our budget goes towards health, but we're also realizing that we've had issues that we might need to tackle sooner rather than later, because that miss in the health department comes with loss of lives to some extent. So it's something that we also can't risk.
Which health facilities in specific?
We talked about, so for instance, Way Memorial Hospital, and so the closure part.
Yeah.
So as we're also waiting to hear the determination of the courts, you see that has also put pressure on our public facilities, because without that, it means all these patients will be rerouted somewhere else. And so with that rerouting, it also means we are also exerting pressure on the capacities that we have, be it human or technical or resource. So my question begs, what are we also doing to ensure that in the interim, we are also fixing issues to do with PGH, because it's a level, is it level 6? Level 5 hospital? Level 5, which has issues. And those issues are not particular to Nakuru residents alone, since this hospital serves around 5 counties that surrounds Nakuru. So my question is, what is it that we need to be doing in the interim to even strengthen the local dispensaries, the local health centers in the community, so that we ease the pressure and the burden on that? And so also I'd want to commend the president. There was a State House meeting that was organized, I think, by the county governor of Nakuru, and we had some very good news about that they are going to get the military to finish off the trauma center at the PGH, which I think is a welcome thing for Nakuru County residents. But the challenge that I'd want to put to the county people is that we also need forums for them to now tell this information to the public. We had very good things from that conversation that was held by the president and Nakuru opinion leaders, but this information needs to be cascaded.
Sawa.
Yeah.
Sawa. Thank you. One more here.
Thank you very much. My name's Daniel Kimani Yitau.
You can just sit. It's okay.
I want to answer the question that had been asked, whether we have seen our taxes zinatumika vizuri. As a former youth leader, nataka kusema na nishukuru county government of Nakuru, especially pale kwa vocational training, because more youths wamejoin pale na huwa hawalipi anything. The county government through the education department huwa wanawapea 30,000 ya kusoma for free, wapate skills. So in that area nimeona imetumika vizuri. Pia nimeona kwa bursaries enhancement through the governor kutoka 110 million to 400 and something million imealloketiwa kwa bursary. So kwangu mimi kama mkaaji wa Nakuru nishaona devolution ina work, na pia taxes zetu zinatumika vizuri. Na kama pia mwanabiashara, juzi tu the county government wameallocate over 100 million to the business people tuweze kupata pesa at a cheaper rate ya 8% in groups, na tumeona itatusaidia kwenda mbele. Asanteni sana.
Haya, chukua ingine. Hapo mbele.
Thank you. My name is Ian Kinuthia. I'm a 5th year student from Egerton University. I'm not a taxpayer, but my parents are. And
No, you are.
No.
You are a taxpayer.
Oh, okay.
You pay VAT whenever you buy anything.
Oh, yes,
You're a taxpayer in many respects.
Yes, I do. And I'd like to, here in Nakuru, we have 6, I'm addressing this question to Daktari, the county secretary. Here in Nakuru, we have 6 universities and campuses. We have 11 TTIs. We have 12 polytechnics. And all these tertiary institutions have students coming from Nakuru County, living from Nakuru County, born here, and they went to those schools. How is the county doing to finance the vulnerable students? Thank you.
What do you know about that so far? Is there, to the best of your knowledge, but your mic ones and your Djibouti, to the best of your knowledge, is there any kind of support that's offered to vulnerable students from Nakuru County post-secondary?
So far, for example, here in from my school, Egerton, I do have a friend. I do have a friend. That's one person so far from Egerton who I know of having only bursary being allocated a bursary. But I'd like to know what it is doing right now, currently, to help more vulnerable students.
Okay.
Good morning, Fixers.
Good morning.
My name is Simon Thuo, but I'm known as Simoro Music. I am a musician, marketer, and a creative consultant. The reason why I find pride in this is because I am a creative in Nakuru City, where you have asked a very good question coming in the aspect of tax. For me, my good question to our county secretary is, what is the plan that you can actually make the creative sector in our county to actually feel the worth of us giving out taxes? Because we have seen it actually reduced from 3% to 1.5%. So I would love for you to start with that question. Maybe we continue further. Thank you.
Explain that. Explain the reduction in the taxation.
The reduction in the tax, because they felt the youths are feeling as a bit of oppressed because the tax was a bit higher. But now, because it has actually gone down to 1.5, still we're asking the question, how is it really working for us? Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that have been coming with that kind of challenge, where now I think in Nakuru County, it will be interesting so that our youths, our creatives can find an opportunity to actually now start paying tax effortlessly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Abu, give me just a range of creatives. You know, you're a creative, so
Yes.
what does that mean? What do you do?
I am a musician by profession.
Right.
Yes.
So what do you pay?
I pay tax when I go to perform. When actually I pay when I buy groceries. And at the same time, even actually my clients, whenever I perform to a number of hotels in Nakuru, they always pay tax on my behalf.
Okay.
But now, those are the kind of things that I do, yes.
And the 1.5, what is it for?
The 1.5 is the one that actually was passed recently, that actually was reduced from 3% to 1.5.
Is it the turnover tax?
Yes.
Or the digital service tax? The turnover tax?
It's turnover, yes.
Okay.
All right, Mariam, are we getting the answers that you're looking for?
I'm getting an idea. I'm getting questions that people
that
need
to
the answers that I was looking for. So I think if there are people who are in a position to answer, it would be great to hear from the county secretary, for example. I know quite a few questions have been posed to you, Dr. Maura. Maybe we can go there, and then I'll dig a bit deeper into some of the things that have come up from what you guys have said so far.
Thank you so much. I will try to answer some leaving out the health sector because we have the CC for health. There's the issue of the potholes in town. It's true during any rainy season, we normally have some potholes developing. It's a joint responsibility between us and Kura. I have to confirm, but I'm happy to report that we have just secured a contractor. We have developed what we call framework. Before, when you have a pothole, you had to advertise for a tender. You go through 30 days of seat. Now what we are doing, secured what we call framework contract. We have an agreement with a contractor who should be have reported to site, and going forward, we'll just be calling them to come and fix the pothole because we already have a framework with them. This issue, I'll not talk about the health sector, but I would want to talk a little bit about War Memorial, because there was a question to the impact of War Memorial to the public health sector in Nakuru.
Yep.
I have to report that War Memorial, even though it closed down, it had a very low capacity in terms of bed capacity. It only had 32 bed capacity. And in that time, since War Memorial closed down, Nakuru County government has been able to open 8 new facilities across the county. We have been able to expand the dialysis unit, and I hope the City for Health will mention the figures in the PGH Nakuru. And in Naivasha, there's a structure that had been started in 2013-14, which was told it's been completed as a dedicated unit for HDU, ICU, and a dialysis unit. So there's a lot of effort to make sure that there's no disruption of services. There's an issue on VTC, Vocational Training College capitation. It is true, Nakuru County has allocated 110 million every year towards supporting these students. The number of students since the governor came in 2022 has increased because of this effort from 1,700. Sorry, I have the CC for education, sorry. I'll let her answer that. I have not seen her. So let me go directly to the issue of creative economy.
Just before you leave health,
yes. Quick
question on why, someone is saying suppliers aren't paid unless they give a bribe. PGH has the greediest officials. That's Rosemary Mwangi on YouTube.
Miriam, can we do this? We allow the CC for health to tackle the health sector first.
Atajibu hayo comprehensively.
Yes.
Okay. So you wanted to respond on the issue of the creative economy.
Yes.
Please do that, and then we shall take a break, come back, and now hear from the CECs, the CEC for health and the CEC for education.
Thank you. So on the creative economy, there are various investments that are happening in the creative economy. It's a very new economy in the understanding of government in terms of investment. And one, there's an investment that is going on in the area of production studio. We have a production studio in Menengai, here in town, Bondeni, which the creative economy have told us we need to improve on the quality, and working on that, bring additional equipment. We have a studio that has been set up in Naivasha at the market, the highest floor, the Naivasha market that was opened by Her Excellency in 2022. And we have some production hub, because part of the creative economy is textile hub and design. So we have some production hubs that have come up. We have a production hub in Bondeni again, Bondeni Youth Center, where youths are going to be trained. Even after they leave VTC, their skills are sharpened on how to do production and design. And therefore, investment in the area of creative economy is something that is going on. Within our VTC, one of the creative economy aspect is food. You know, food is part of creative economy. And therefore, we have a VTC in Naivasha which is dedicated to purely training the youth on issue of food. And across all our VTCs, we have many VTCs that are offering short courses on food and cooking. So there's huge investment that is going on in the creative economy. It's a new area that we are trying to understand. If you go to the structure of the county government since devolution, this is the first government that has structured the creative economy in a way that it is even has been put as a strategic program within the department. investment.
Okay.
There's an attempt to make sure that this economy is commercialized, because part of it was mainly done almost for free. And we also have collaboration. We have a collaboration with Safaricom that we are packaging, and they're promising to work with us to be able to organize events where the youth are able to come and demonstrate their skills, we're able to expose them and give them a market.
Dr. CS, Dr. Mora, thank you very much for that. Let's take a break. Dr. Samuel Mora is the County Secretary for Nakuru. He is here alongside some of the members of the County Executive, plus many citizens and residents of Nakuru County. We are discussing the issues of devolution and whether devolution in Nakuru specifically is working. Around this time, when it's a budget-making time, we are asking, is the money in the budget actually serving the people of Nakuru? The next year's financial budget is 20 billion shillings, alikuwa told. We want to know, your 20 billion inatusaidia aje sisi kama wakazi wa Nakuru. Back in a moment, keep it here for that. We are fixing the nation, one conversation at a time from Nakuru County. Fix the nation, we are live from the Nyayo Gardens here in Nakuru, and everybody is welcome. The gates are open. Come and let's have a conversation about Nakuru and devolution, whether it's serving the people. We're here with a cross-section of citizens and residents of Nakuru, plus some leadership from the Nakuru County government. Budget and the people, and that's the conversation that we're having. The sun is coming out, so at least it's warming up just a little bit, slightly. But we are glad that the CECM for Health is here, and there are some of the questions that have been asked so far. We'll touch on her, so we'll come to her shortly. Also some questions on education, some questions on environment, and we're still getting more questions coming in on, for social media, people asking various questions. Deco here from Kaptembwa asked the county officials what's their plan with the drainage systems for low suburb areas like Kaptembwa, Ronda, Kivumbini, Manyani slums. Mambo hiyo wanasema they needs to be addressed. My question is about land titling in the trading center. How far is the process, especially in areas that documents verification has already been done? And so on and so forth. So we'll keep asking those questions to the relevant officials here and just having these conversations. You can send the questions on WhatsApp, and the number Mariam is going to give you shortly. You can also just go into our social media platforms, NTV Kenya on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, on X, and also on Nation FM. And we'll ask the questions here. Let's have an open conversation. Mariam, what's the number for WhatsApp?
Right. 0112 500 400. 0112 500 400. That's the number to send your WhatsApp Nation to. As we get back in conversation with quite a number of residents from Nakuru, quite a number of county workers as well, and of course CECs. We have everyone who plays a part in the cog, in the wheel actually. Yes, that is Nakuru County here. And we're trying to figure out what's working, what's the fix, how do we move forward. And Nakuru is beautiful, the sun is coming out. We were discussing health just before we went on the break. Education, education I know will also be on a lot of people's radar. But let me begin with some of the questions that were directed to the CEC for Health, and then we can get into the other matters before we go into anything else. We have Rosalind here, who is the CEC for Health, ready to answer maswali ni mengi. Sindio? Yes.
Thank you very much. My name is Rosalind Mongai, County Executive Committee Member for Health. Then let me handle the questions one by one. One was asked with regard to negligence at the Nakuru County Referral and Teaching Hospital. And it is good to put name to a story. The client or the patient that the gentleman is talking about is actually Elizabeth Waywimo. She came in for to the Margaret Kenyatta unit, maternity unit, to deliver her baby. The complications that arose that led to her death arose long after the birth, or a few hours after the actual birth. I'd like to report, first of all, that the baby that was born is healthy and doing very well. Secondly, I'd like to report that negligence can only be declared by the medical board. We actually invited the medical board, and they came to the Nakuru County Referral and Teaching Hospital. They did the assessment, and they're going to present a report. Over and above that, I should say that the clinical report that has been given with regard to the death of Wairimo was it's a condition that can be explained clinically. I'm not going to talk about it, but it's one of the embolisms that usually occur very, very rarely. I've been told the circumstances around her death akin to a plane crash. It's a rare, but when it happens, it is fatal. In terms of whether or not the Nakuru County Referral and Teaching Hospital is providing standard services, that Margaret Kenyatta Mother and Baby Unit actually is a 250 bed capacity unit. It has a newborn unit. It has a kangaroo mothers unit, 2 wards, about 12 beds that are permanently occupied. We deliver about 1,200 babies in that hospital per month. 880 or thereabouts by normal delivery, and about 350 by C-section, like the late Elizabeth Wayumo delivered. But beyond the maternity unit, we should say that Nakuru is one of the sites that has a regional cancer center. So clients from all over the country are visiting our hospital, our cancer center. We conduct about 50 radiotherapy procedures every day. We have 1 LINAC machine. We're just receiving a second LINAC machine in order to expand the services. Now, these services are accessed by people, residents of Nakuru and beyond. The dialysis, the renal unit, we have 2 renal, let me call them units, 2 of them. 15 machines running daily, 6 days a week. So, what I'd like to say about the Nakuru County Referral and Teaching Hospital, I'd like to challenge the nation, fixing the nation. The next time, could we please have such a forum within the hospital and look at the actual service delivery that is happening in that hospital? We are in the business of providing services to citizens, and that brings me to the question about corruption. This government of Her Excellency Susan Kihika does not condone corruption. So any complaints with regard to the bribe, I think I heard about a bribe that you have to pay a bribe in order to have your bill, what is it?
Your supplies,
yes,
are paid.
Yeah. Can they please complain about that directly? Because I haven't yet had a complaint like that. We have a very robust grievance redress mechanism, both within the Department of Health and Nakuru County as a whole. So the complainant is welcome to respond. And by the way, in terms of strategic direction with regard to the payment of pending bills, Nakuru County Referral and Teaching Hospital is an FIF generating hospital. We actually have directed through the budget making process that the hospital allocates a certain percentage to ensure that pending bills are paid on a quarterly basis. So that's that. And I would hope that the complaint will come officially, and we apologize for that experience that anybody may have faced. In terms of closing of facilities, I think Dr. Maura, the county secretary, has spoken about this. It is very important to look at what it is that the county government of Nakuru, under the leadership of Her Excellency, the governor, is doing in order to ramp up the number and quality of services delivered in our facilities. Down the road, and you've just mentioned, Captain Mbo, let me tell you about Barut Health Dispensary. These are dispensary level 2, because earlier you spoke about, you're just speaking about level 4, 5. What about level 3, 2? Yeah. Now, Barut is a level 2 facility. They've had a maternity unit that was developed there a couple of, maybe 6 years ago. It's not been operational. On March the 10th, we operationalized that facility by availing staff, availing medicine, availing equipment. Since March the 10th, that facility has delivered over 12 successful babies by normal delivery. What that means is that we're actually decongesting the Margaret Kenyatta facility across the county, even beyond the facilities that Dr. Maura spoke about. In Kihingo, we are going to be operationalizing a new maternity unit called Mutarakwa. In Soin, we are going to be operationalizing another one called Kapsetek. In Naivasha, we are going to be operationalizing another one called Monyu. The point is, as we focus on the closure of War Memorial, let us look at what it is that the county government of Nakuru is doing to open up access, like universal health coverage across the board.
Sisi, let me ask just as a follow-up to this, because I'm very big on this issue of primary health care,
sure.
Right? So level 1, 2, 3 should be decongesting levels 4s and 5s. you should go to a level 4 or 5 on serious referrals, right? So do we have a good number of levels 2 or 3? Do we have dispensaries and health centers in Nakuru County, across each sub-county, in each, let's say, each ward, that would be able then to serve the residents? I do not want to be walking, somebody, my mother, my grandmother, my parent, my siblings, to be going long distances to seek health services.
All right. Thank you very much for that question. Across the county, we have, I think County Secretary spoke about 3,306 community health promoters. That is level 1. We have 161 dispensaries across the county, in every sub-county, maybe an average of 22, 23 thereabouts. We have 44 health centers across the county. What that means is we give incremental service. What is not available with the community strategy at level 1 is available at level 2, which is a dispensary, but there's a limitation. Like when people talk about availability of medicine, one of the things that the county secretary mentioned is about the essential medicines list. This list prescribes which medicine is available at level 2, which one is available at level 3 and level 4, and so on. So what conditions cannot be treated at level 2 will then be treated at level 3, which is the health centers. And by the way, there are a number of facilities that have been built in the past which will be incrementally operationalized. So apart from the 8 that Her Excellency operationalized last year in 2023, and the 2 that that is 2024, sorry, and the 2 that she operationalized in 2023, we are very, very hopeful that with the passage of the budget, a number of other level 2 and level 3 facilities will be operationalized across board, none of which were built during this administration.
Thank you. Mariam, as you continue with this conversation, you know why I'm asking this question is, every time there's a word referral, there's a cost element that's introduced into it, because there'll be transportation, they'll be moving from one area to another. And this is where citizens always feel, so why should I go to this dispensary if I'll still, the last so-and-so was referred to health center, so-and-so, so let me just go straight to the health center. Yeah. Because I'm trying to avoid the inconvenience of it. How do you address this, as citizens? How do we fix it? Is it the way it's structured to work? How do you make sure, CEC, that people are not just spending money going to a facility?
I think then that's also a question of how much information do we have, because ideally right now, if you do go to a level 4, 5, 6, and you haven't, tried a dispensary, a health center first, you'll just be sent back, right? Will you actually be sent back? I don't know. If you say, niko na homa and you're going to a level 6, should you be sent back? I don't know. What's the procedure then? And have we given people enough information to know that this is the chain, unless it's an emergency, unless it's this and that you should start from your community health promoter, your dispensary, and then if it's something serious, it can be referred on to the next?
Very good questions. 2 things. One, we cannot respond to that question without talking about SHA. So initially, with the introduction of, or the transition from NHIF to SHA, there was that concern. That when you go to a level 2 you go to PGH, for example, the Nakuru County Referring Teaching Hospital, and you have homa, you're sent back to the dispensary, because that is the primary level facility that deals with that. Remember that SHA introduced 4 laws and 3 funds. So the primary healthcare fund can only be used for primary level services. So that was the tension at that point. But then a few months later, I think around January or so, the Social Health Authority invited level 4 and our level 5 hospitals, if they please, to apply to provide primary healthcare services. All our facilities did that. So presently, if you walk into any facility that has been authorized to provide primary health care services, you will be attended to, and that facility can actually receive the reimbursement under the capitation model. But then now when it comes to the Social Health Insurance Fund, The minute you move from outpatient to inpatient, you leave the primary healthcare fund and you access services through the social health insurance fund. This is why we are telling citizens to kindly register, because it is very important. The primary healthcare fund is provided at no cost, exactly. But the social health insurance fund, you've got to pay for it. So we're encouraging citizens, don't wait until you get sick in order to access, although when you are on the line and you pay for your, and you make your payments, you will still be able to access those services. And remember, there is now lipa pole mechanism, so you don't have to pay the entire premium for the year. So let me leave that at that. Right. I think the second one was about, sorry.
Oh, yes, finish with the second one.
Now you made me lose my
pole. That was the first one. Was
but generally, yes, I think even what Mariam you're asking is, do people know?
Yes, that was the second. That was what I was alluding to. Yes, do people know?
If you go to Kaptembwa right now, do people know that this is how this whole thing is structured? That I have so and so, mom, and so is my CHP. This is my local dispensary. That is the health center, and I should start from this going up, or if I'm referred, this is how I go. Do people have that knowledge?
Access to information in public education is something we need to do better about. In my opinion, the level of care that ordinary citizens are most familiar with is what you've talked about, the level 1, the CHP. Because like Dr. Maura said, that is a person who is your neighbor, is your relative, they're aware. They actually invite the CHPs into their homes. Where we have challenges with the level 1 is the more affluent sections of our society where they won't allow a CHP in. What we need to do, and what we are developing a mechanism to do, is to educate citizens about these levels of care. You see this thing Dr. Mora spoke about, essential medicines list, and don't accept to be prescribed medicine that is not on the list, and on the other hand, don't go to a dispensary or a level 3 looking for medicine that is only available at level 4. We need to do better at educating people about this essential medicine list, what is available and what they can do. In terms of mapping of our facilities, we are developing a portal that will be able to point citizens to the nearest dispensary, the nearest health center.
We'll push a little bit on the health aspect of everything a little bit later, but I want to just put a pin on it for now so that we can also talk about other sectors within the county, education being a specific one. And I know Zippy is here. She's also our CC for education.
We do a break first.
Oh, yes.
Not a breakfast, a break fast.
A break. I was down for breakfast.
You're down for breakfast as well.
You know?
Yeah, some comments as well as we're going into this breakfast conversation. Is somebody saying that, yes, the PCN and the primary healthcare network is the way to go, but it's important that people understand the continuous sensitization to ensure that the community understands the role of the CHP. That is what Mboro Ann is saying. Many more questions coming in on the issues of county and whether people understand the role. We in Kiptororo, we thank the governor for the ongoing construction of a level 4 hospital in Kiptororo, as well as the laying of cabro blocks in Kiptororo Center. That's Jeremy Langat who says that. Well, time for a break. Where Mike is on the ground in Nakuru County. We are here at, what ground is this called again?
Nyayo Gardens.
It's open to the public, and yeah, it's one of the 2 parks in Nakuru city center that's open to the public and serving very well. Back in a moment to continue having conversations with the residents of Nakuru and the leadership of Nakuru. Mariam, we've tackled health.
Yes.
We still have other issues to tackle.
We do, education being the biggest one. Of course, over the next hour, we'll thread a lot of things, not just education, but I know there was already a question up there from a gentleman in the grey sweatshirt around education, and Zippy, the CEC for education, is also around to answer questions pertaining to the same. So let's hear from them. I think the fact that education has been a pain point for so many people, a lot of people don't even understand which parts of education are devolved, which ones belong to national government, how much is being given to a student every term, every year. how much actually makes it to schools? What is your county doing to fund education within? But let's hear the questions. Kwanza alafu ndio Zippy can respond.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
My name is John Turukana Flomolo. Swali yangu nataka kuuliza waziri wa education. Naona mko na very good program ya kupatia watoto wetu wa ECD uji. Is it itaendelea ama ilikuwa only this financial year? Number 2, swali yangu nilikuwa kwa CEO cooperative. Mimi kama mwanabiashara, juzi tuliona governor na launch over 100 million ya kusaidia wanabiashara na wakulima. Na tukichukua zile loan tunalipa na pesa kidogo. Sijui kama through CEO itaendelea ama mulisimamishia hapo. Nikimalizia, we have about issue about agriculture. Naona CC yuko hapa but CS ako hapa. Tuliona juzi mnapeana seedlings za avocado nini na nini. Sijui tena bwana CS kama itaendelea. Naongea because I'm a farmer. Thank you very much.
Asante. There was another question on education. Passing the mic to.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, like education?
Yes, on education too.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Elizabeth Wajiko from Kivumbini Ward, and my question goes to Waziri Education. First, is to commend the governor on the 30,000 capitation. It's not a joke. So my first question is, how is the county ensuring that vocational training programs align with the current job market's demands? And the second question is, what initiative has the Nakuru County undertaken to expand access to vocational training for the youths and the young mothers? Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, Nation Fixers. My name is Lucy Mora, serving the resilient students of Egerton University as their vice president. And as we all know, Egerton University offers a wide range of professional training. This ranges from healthcare, where myself am in, I'm a medical student, and in agriculture, education, and engineering. And my question goes to the CS and everyone that it might affect in the professionals that I've just listed. What is the county government of Nakuru doing to make sure that as the very, very passionate people from Egerton University and the surrounding tertiary institutions that really want to contribute to the development of our beautiful county, that we are being absorbed and being, getting these employment opportunities? And also last year, I saw Her Excellency the Governor promoted around 180 medical practitioners into permanent and pensionable terms. And as a medical student, access to healthcare is so personal and also professional to me. I envision a county where everybody can be able to access healthcare services no matter where they are. And this is especially in rural areas and the underserved areas. So what is the county government doing to make sure that even as we graduate soon, here will be graduating soon, that we will be able to be absorbed to serve the people, because there is clearly understaffing, and with many patients being able to access healthcare by onboarding SHA, with the closure of so many private facilities around, this means that there is more patients coming to the few facilities that we have left. So, yes.
Before you sit down, Madam Vice President, is it Egerton or Egerton?
Egerton University.
Okay. Tunasemanga tu Egerton sisi, ni sawa. Ni Lord Egerton. Yeah, it's
Yes,
named after
it's
the Lord.
Egerton,
Egerton,
yes.
sawa, sawa.
Ni sawa. So vijana wapate nafasi za ajira. Sawa. CC Education.
Thank you very much. My name is Zippy Wamboi Ngoge, the CCM for Education. I'd like to say in the Department of Education, we have 2 units, the unit for ECD and that of vocational training. The county governments are mandated to carry out the functions of ECD and vocational training. So that's basically our mandate. So in the area of ECD, there is this question that has been asked about the UJI program that Her Excellency the Governor started in March last year. I'd like to say that this is going to be sustainable, and our learners in the ECD centers are served with a cup of UJI every school going day. and it's nutritious uji because it's made from fortified flour. We intend to advance this to maybe a meal later, whereby they will be maybe having lentils and rice or beans with ugali for them to have access to nutrition when they are in school.
You intend to do it?
Yes, that is the plan. If we are able to get resources, this is going to be done because it's the vision of Her Excellency, the Governor.
Okay, CC.
Yes.
There's a plan?
There's a plan, yes.
Does this plan come with a timeline?
Yes.
So when?
Most probably in the year 26-27.
Okay.
The fiscal year 26-27.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to say that the provision of a snack is entrenched in the national policy that guides us for pre-primary schools, whereby all school-going kids are entitled to a hot meal or a snack during the midday. Right now, we have 65,000 learners in the ECD centers, which has shot up from 58,000 when we started the school feeding program. So this school feeding program has brought about an increase in enrollment, and it has also enhanced school attendance. So less children are dropping out of school, and they are loving school more and more. And we are also tackling the challenge of short-term hunger in our centers. We have also seen schools that had earlier on been closed due to lack of learners opening up. We began in March of last year offering this uji, and right now we have 1,065 ECD centers across the county, up from 1,003 when we began. Her Excellency the Governor is so much focused and has heavily invested in the area of ECD because in partnership with an non-state organization called Edu Kenya, we have started a program that is of integrating ICT in ECD learning. There is also the supply of age-appropriate furniture, which has been done in the past 1 year to 628 schools. In the past regimes, we used to have classrooms constructed, but without equipping. And you will find our young learners sitting on stones in some instances, and in other instances they will be sitting on chairs and tables meant for bigger kids. Hence, their comfort in class would not be that good. We also supply in the Department of Education instructional materials for teachers every financial year, and also learners' textbooks for reading and learning in class. This financial year, we've been able to supply 17,200 copies of both learners and teachers' instructional materials. So there's also infrastructural development in the area of ECD, whereby since Her Excellency the Governor came into office, the scope and design of our classrooms has changed. There before, they will just construct a normal classroom, just a building with a normal concrete floor. But right now, we've improved this to include a terrazzo floor and also a ceiling and a water tank that has a concrete base. And in instances where there are no toilets, we also include that in the scope of work.
CCM, if I just follow up on this question of ECD, then we can move to vocational training.
Yes.
How many ECD teachers do we have in Nakuru County employed? What is the basic pay for an ECD teacher? And what's the basic qualification for an ECD teacher?
Okay, thank you very much. Right now, we have 891 teachers that have been employed by the county. And last week, but one, we had 498 confirmed into permanent and pensionable terms by Her Excellency. out of which 191 have been employed in the current financial year. So the basic salary for an ECD teacher right now is 43,208, but now they take home 23,104. That's the net pay. Yes.
All right, let's move into vocational training, because there are some questions here that were asked about vocational training. So, post-secondary education, the county government devolution is in charge of vocational training. How many vocational training institutions do we have? Are they geared towards training people for the job market? Is there a process that the county government has, or a policy that ensures that the people who are coming out or graduating from vocational training centers are linked to available job opportunities?
Then maybe with a focus on medicine students, and yes, I think just anyone studying medicine, pharmacology, nursing, etc., because it seems that there's always that, there's internship, there's placement issues, and on a national level, and sometimes even at county. But I don't know, maybe you can speak to that.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to request that I focus on the issue of vocational training, and then the county secretary will answer on the issue of placement. So Nakuru County runs 40 vocational training centers that are spread across all sub-counties in the county. I'd like to report also that when Her Excellency the Governor came into power in the year 2022, we only had 33, and in the last 2 years, we've been able to operationalize 7 that were non-operational, and we have 10 that are also pending operation. So, yes, the county government of Nakuru offers market-driven skills, and one thing that drives us to decide which courses to offer, we work with other organizations like the TVET, TVETA. We also work with TVET SIDAC, the body that is mandated to give us curricula. And we also do public participation before bringing up new courses to the centers, so that the young people that are targeted can also let us know what they would want to be trained on. We have 11 centers of excellence that offer various courses in the sub-counties, because we have 11 sub-counties. Like, for instance, in Hell's Gate, Naivasha, we have Merera Vocational Training Center. That is a center of excellence in matters of food and beverage management and production. This was brought about because of the hotel industry in Naivasha, and we also link our graduate trainees to the job industry. We work closely with industries like the hotel industries in Naivasha. We have Bedi in Nakuru, where they are heavy on textile development. So we also upskilling our instructors so that they can align with the new curriculum that is competency based.
Asante sana. I think before we move to the next round of questions, Bona CS, you can take on the question of absorption of staff. And I'll take this one as well on Facebook. Critic Officer says, ask him why Nakuru County only employs health workers on contract that pays stipends. How do they come up with that stipend? Does Nakuru have its own SRC that determines how much to pay its health workers differently from other counties and national government? Is that not a violation of labor laws?
Thank you. And I'll start with the last question on the issue of employment on contract. I think when Her Excellency came in, since 2016, the health sector had been employing people on contract. And the first thing Her Excellency the Governor did was to make sure that we start absorbing the contract staff into permanent and pensionable. And that is being done using the what we call fast in, fast out. So you'll find the 2016 batch has been absorbed permanent and pensionable. The on contract earning what we call the SRC rate. No, sorry, the UHC rate. So there's a cohort of employees who have been employed in the whole country. There's a rate that we call the UHC rate, which has been gazetted by the Ministry of Health. However, on absorption, they are being paid the SRC rate, and the 2016 cohort was absorbed. The 2018 cohort is being absorbed, and even the 2020 cohort, Her Excellency has instructed that we provide for money in the budget in the coming year. So the policy of the current administration is that people should be employed and permanent and pensionable, but we start with the oldest, not the one who came in last. However, there's a process of vetting to make sure that we check on the performance and discipline of those staff. On the issue of medical students, I want to say that if you look at Nakuru County, our two biggest facilities, that is Naivasha and Nakuru PGH, we get a lot of referrals from the neighboring counties, and therefore it's an indication that our health sector is very functional. Therefore, our health sector is also a prime sector for training of medical students, and you'll find that KMTC, Egerton University and many other universities have collaborated with our main hospitals, and not just the hospital, but also on the community training aspects of them. So to my sister here, the Vice President of Egerton, the hospitals that are being built by Her Excellency is an employment opportunity that is there. I want to report to this forum that as we speak today, the Public Service Board has just concluded recruiting some medical staff. Actually, some letters are being released as we speak today. So the continued expansion and introduction of new services into our health facility provide opportunities for students to come and train, to come and learn, but also to get employment afterwards. One of the biggest beneficiaries in terms of employment is Egerton University, because that's our university. They train in our institutions. We are their strategic partners, and therefore these students are very well known to us, to our doctors, and therefore we normally get recommendation for those who performed well during the internship, those who had a good attitude, and they're very big beneficiary when it comes to the employment of our people. So there are those initiatives that are there. There's something I would want to add to the CC for education. They have also started what we call incubation hubs. So that if you live at a vocational training center and you feel that your skills, or if you go to the market and your skill is not to the level, you can come back to an incubation hub. And we have some partners we are collaborating with. For example, if you go to Bondeni Textile Hub now, you will find some TVET graduates who are training there. They're being given a small stipend by some of our partners who are collaborating with to make sure that on that interim period, they're able to upskill their skills to a level that is acceptable in the market if there is a gap. If you go to Shabab, there's a garage we are collaborating with for the area of mechanics. And then in the ICT, we also have some partners we are collaborating them in our ICT hubs. So on the issue of skills, apart from what Waziri is saying, to make sure that it's market driven, there's also an intervention to make that we bridge the gap when we feel there's a gap when they leave our institutions. Thank you.
Asante. Let's take a couple of questions now and feedback. Nitaanza pale maneno ya walemavu, and we'll get also to hear from other people. Let's take a number, and the CCMs, the CEOs are here. They'll respond. Some of them don't even require a response. It's all of us. Let's discuss and debate, right? Tuanze.
Shukran. Good morning, Nation Fixers. Asante kwa kufika hapa kwetu Nakuru Nyayo Gardens, the nostrils of our CBD, one of the fruits of devolution, and thanks to the successful county governments. My name is Akimani Wakimani, mmoja wa wakilishi wa walemavu katika kaunti yetu ya Nakuru, na swali langu la kwanza linaenda kwa county secretary wetu. Hapo juzi tulitembelea rais katika ikulu yake pale Nairobi, na kati ya mambo ambayo alisema, kati ya austerity measures zenye anachukua ili nchi itumie pesa ipasavyo, ni jinsi ambavyo atafanya equipping of our health sectors, ambapo manufacturers watakuwa kileta mashine zao katika health facilities, wanalipwa moja kwa moja na yule ambaye anapata huduma kutoka kwa mashine hizo. Je, kaunti yetu ya Nakuru imechukua measures kama zile? Na iwapo zipo, ni zipi ambazo wamechukua so far, na ni zipi ambazo wanatarajia kuchukua hapo baadaye? Swali la pili linaenda kwake mtu ambaye anasimamia mambo ya health. Tumekuwa na mazoea ambapo county governments ama serikali zinajenga majengo bila equipping na staffing, especially kama mambo ya dispensaries. Je, katika sekta hiyo wamefanya yapi kuhakikisha kwamba hatujapata majengo peke yake ambayo hayana huduma, hayana wafanyikazi, na hayana madawa na vifaa ambavyo vinahitajika mle ndani? Swali la mwisho.
Kuna moja ambao unajua?
Naam.
Tell us about a health facility.
Kuna moja imekaa pale Muguga sana, sijui. Muguga ya.
Ilijengwa mwaka gani?
Ilijengwa na county government ya kwanza.
2013, 2017.
Naam, ningependa kujua kufikia sasa wamefanya yapi.
Okay.
Vile swali la mwisho linaenda kwake mhudumu wa mambo ya health, ya environment na maji. Tumekuwa na ripoti ambayo imetolewa na Auditor General, ambapo boreholes zinachimbwa kwa pesa mingi sana kutoka kwa wana Kenya, lakini huduma zile boreholes zinaleta value for the money that is spent, kwa sababu zingine zilichimbuliwa kama pale Wajia, tunapata borehole imetumia 7 million, maji imepatikana, lakini maji yenyewe ni ya chumvi. Maji hayezi tumika kwa yote yule. Je, county government yetu imefanya lipi? Kwa sababu governor wetu wakati alizunguka katika county yetu ya Nakuru, alisema mojawapo ya mambo ambayo angependa kusuluhishia wa Kenya ni kuhakikisha kama wamepata maji safi na available wakati wanaitaka, na tena kwa pesa ambazo ni adimu, ambazo wanaweza kuimudu. Mambo ya walemavu. Mambo ya walemavu.
By the way, hujauliza swali la walemavu.
Mambo ya walemavu. Tumepata governor wetu wamefanya mambo mazuri, alituondolea ile kwa license, trading license, tumepewa waiver sisi walemavu. Lakini huwa tunafanya application ndio tupate hiyo waiver. Ile data ambao wamechukua kutoka kwa hiyo, wamefanya juhudi gani kuhakikisha empowerment ya walemavu Nakuru imefanywa kupitia ile data? Kwa sababu wasikuwe tuna data ambao wamepata kwa applications zetu za waiver, ila hali wakati wa empowerment wanatusahau.
Empowerment ni
constitution inasema 5% ya wale wameajiriwa kwa county wakuwa walemavu. Wamefanya hivyo.
Eric, tuko na swali hapa on trade.
Pande hii.
Yeah, swali moja hapa on trade. The gentleman next to me.
Round,
Yeah. Let's start there. And I know there's also someone else. Mike, iko wapi?
Mike kwa ground.
Yes.
Pitisha hivyo.
Let's get a question on trade.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Wilson Geto. I'm the chairman, Nakuru Business Association. I'd go very fast to a couple of questions that I have. Question number one. The county government, everything is built on land. We've seen some proposals at the national government to introduce a 0.05% urban property tax on top of the county rates and also the land rent. What have you done to be able to mitigate on that? Otherwise, it makes land very expensive. Number two, the cost of energy. Nakuru sits on about 10,000 megawatts of geothermal steam. So far, Nakuru does not enjoy any particular benefit from that energy. And also what we are looking at, and maybe to answer one of the questions that is being raised by the youth, if this energy could be harnessed for Nakuru County at subsidized rates, could we have maybe data centers coming here? Also, another very, very key question is in terms of the positioning and marketing of Nakuru County. We cannot feel the presence of Nakuru County at a national level, at an international level. Something very, very simple, for instance, this is the only county in Kenya which has got 6 lakes, but I've never had a campaign on that. And you know, tourism is able to cut across a very, very wide sector and also create a lot of employment. Also, last but not least, we've not also gotten a clear position in terms of making Nakuru a key logistics hub. When you look at Nakuru, we are right at the center of about 6-7 other counties. How are we lobbying? Let's say, for example, to have the SGR terminate at Nakuru. So are these things that a county is considering, or they're leaving it open for national government? Thank you.
So that we don't get lost, can we answer those ones first? Will we be able to track all the questions?
Kila mtu andike swali yake.
Swali yake, sawa basi.
So that we also give the residents
a chance,
more time to.
Yeah, to.
So we may hear. Mike, iko hapo.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Mo Hassan from Kuresoi South. Thank you, NTV and Nakuru County Government under the leadership of Governor Susan Kika for bringing this conversation and interview so that we can interact and raise our concerns. So I have a questions on agriculture. My first question, I'm from Kuresoi. So Kuresoi South, Kuresoi is being largely agricultural. What measures has the county put in place in the budget to support the farmers, especially with the rising of cost of farm inputs and unpredictable weather patterns? Another question, it's about the TSES fund. What specific development projects in Kuresoi have been funded through TSES allocation, and how these projects being monitored to ensure they meet the needs of the tea farmers? Another question is about Wezesha Fund to CEO, Kurget, the CEO cooperatives. So what measures is the Wezesha Fund taking to ensure that the people in marginalized areas are fully informed and empowered to assess and benefit from this fund? And what is the eligibility as a youth? So that's my question. Thank you.
Agriculture and cooperatives. Let's now pick those ones. Agriculture, okay.
A good question.
Yako ni agriculture?
Yeah.
Cooperatives?
Towns.
Trade?
Municipality towns.
Municipality and towns?
Yes.
Can touch on trade. Okay, let's hear that. So, and your waziri ule mtu atajibu mambo ya trade pia ajibu hiyo.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming to Nakuru and fixing the nation. I have two questions. One, Gilgil and Molo are the new established municipalities within Nakuru town, within Nakuru County. I'd wish the CS could tell us what does he have for us to fill the municipality status for Gilgil. Especially I come from Gilgil sub-county, and in particular Gilgil town. The second question is, Nakuru County is known for scarce water. As you can see, you are complaining about the sun. We still have a problem with water. So I would wish to know, how do we fix the water scarcity in Nakuru County?
Asante sana. So apart from kuwa municipality unaongezewa rates, what other benefits do you get? Is it on agriculture, Mama?
Not on agriculture.
Unajua sitaki tuende, tutarudi tafadhali. Wacha tuchukue mambo ya agriculture ndio wachukue maswali yao yote.
Kuna maji.
Na maji. Leta hapa kuna mtu wa maji. Kuna mtu wa agriculture, maji, trade.
Thank you, Fixtures, for coming and fixing Nakuru. My name is Mugambi Amadi, and I'm resident of Nakuru, from Nakuru East, Flamingo Ward. My question goes direct to the CEC Water. Bwana Waziri, what measures is Nakuru County taking to protect its forest, green space, and biodiversity, especially mahali tumeketi kama leo hapa Nyayo Garden? It's the benefit of the green space. Okay, number two, how is the Nakuru County addressing illegal dumps, waste management, especially in estate and urban areas? That is a menace in our estates. At least that one should be addressed as well. And the last one, what steps Nakuru County is taking to improve access to safe and clean drinking water to Nakuru residents? Asante.
So, lingine environment, yako.
Again, I'm Bernard Masharia from Kitangony in Gilgil. To the county government, I wanted to know what are they doing to make sure the distribution of subsidized fertilizer reaches that farmer in the village down there, so to avoid traveling all those big distances. Secondly, are there some plans to register more farmers? Because you remember the last time they did, they have never had another kind of a registration. Are there some plans to register more farmers so that they can benefit on that fertilizer subsidies?
Asante. Tujibu hayo, sio?
Yeah.
All right. So we've got questions on environment and agriculture and trade.
Yes.
And there was, of course, the issue of disability. Then we'll come back and pick up youth, women issues, security issues. Mama yako ilikuwa ya nini? Swali, huyo mama pia kuna swali yake. So let's go on to that. I think we start with environment.
Environment and then trade.
Yeah. Ameanza kuwasha jua. Na swali ya kwanza ulikuwa umeulizwa about Katembo na all these other areas on issue of sewer and water, and which has been asked here as well on waste management.
Thank you very much. I want to start with the one for the sewer and drainage, because there was a question on that. First and foremost, I want to say that not all the area of Kaptembo do not have the sewer, but the sewers that are there, probably they were constructed long time ago, and the population has really grown. So actually, the sewer or the population has outgrown what is currently there. What is the county government doing? The county government has a project called KFW, which is a approximately about 5.6 billion, funded by German government. And this project will try to address all the issues concerning the drainage and the sewer along, particularly in the city, and it will look into expanding the Njoro lagoons down there. So this project will come hand in hand and will be able to address most of the issues to do with the sewer, particularly within the city, and even looking at the probability of having, like areas like Kiamunyi, we don't have a sewer line there, but these are some of the areas that the project will look into. So we want to believe that that is one of the projects that will come and help us. Secondly, we are working together with the Netherlands government under the project called a spongy city or water as a leverage. And even currently, yesterday we had a meeting with them in Nairobi, and we are coming up with a project that is worth about 50 million euros. This project basically looks at how to address the issue of sewage, the issue of drainage in the city. They have come up with about 6 what they call hotspots. We have River Njoro, we have Kiamunyi, we have Menengai, Kreta, we have Ngosur, that is the Bahati area, and we have Lanet pipeline. So what this project will be doing will actually be trying to control the water flow into the city, and hence be able to encourage water infiltration into our aquifers down, so that at least at the same time we are also refilling our aquifers. We have been so good in just extracting water from the bowls, but we have not been good to refill where we have extracted the water. So this is a project that is currently going on. It is actually, we have finished the feasibility study, and is now going on. And these are one of the projects that I believe will be able to sort out that issue. We are also, Excellency the Governor.
Waziri?
Yes.
In the interest of time,
yeah.
So you've responded to the issue of waste management, and now let's respond to the issue of water provision. There was a question about sinking of boreholes and testing boreholes,
yes.
and ensuring that they're
Let me just finish with that. Excellency, the Governor also has created a multi-departmental, multi-sectorial unit called NACOSTEC to make sure that they coordinate in the county all issues to do with drainage, whether it's Naivasha or Nakuru. That comprises, actually it's the chair. We are actually co-chairing with my colleague here from Health Department. So it comprises all the other departments, and currently you are aware, for the last 2 years, we've not have serious issue of flooding in Nakuru County. Right. For the interest of time, let me move to the one of boreholes. And yes, it is true, or it has been happening, the fact that sometimes you get a borehole is drilled and then people don't get the value of money. When Her Excellency the Governor came in, the first thing she said was that, or she instructed that she could not want to see any borehole which is drilled and not completed. The problem earlier on has been that the money was allocated for drilling the borehole and then wait for another 2-3 years before that borehole is equipped. But now, with a direction from Her Excellency the Governor, enough money is allocated for a borehole so that we drill, we equip, and we distribute the water. That has been the case, and I'm happy to report that for the last 2 years, we have improved actually the water coverage by 5.4% from where we found it. The issue of fluoride also is another issue. Sometimes we drill a borehole, but when we do the hydrological survey, we are not certain in the terms of quality of water that you will be able to get. So sometimes, yes, you drill, you get water, but you get water with above standard fluoride level. So, and sometimes we are not ready as a county government to give our people water that is not acceptable for human consumption. So in that case, sometimes that is why you might get 1 or 2 bowls that are not, they can even be equipped sometimes, but they're not giving people water. What are we doing as a county government to ensure that people get water? I think there are 2 people who have asked that question. We are working with the national government. We are expecting probably 100,000 cubic of water daily from Itare when it is completed. We are expecting another 6,000 cubic water from Chemosusu when it is completed, and So that one will come in and help us even blend the water that we have with a lot of fluoride. So there is something blending. Blending is getting the water with a high fluoride level and probably mixing it with the fresh water. So I think for water, that is what we are doing. And then the issue of waste management, I want to assure these people, or I want to assure this congregation that Nakuru County has retained, has gone back to its earlier state as being the cleanest city in South Africa. And I'm sure as you are walking around, you must have witnessed that because of the strategy and the plans that we put in terms of cleaning the city, the various types of policies and laws that we have in this county that help us keep the city clean. We are also working, of course, with the NEMA in a number of implementing a number of regulations, like producer responsibility regulation that have just come out recently to ensure that there is proper disposal and of waste right from the source, transportation, and to the dump site. We also have a number of other partners that we are working together and to ensure that the county is clean. So we are also reviewing currently. We are reviewing two of our laws. We are reviewing the solid waste management laws, and also we are reviewing Climate Change Act, so that at least this will enable us incorporate the emerging issues that has come up recently. Protection of a green space in the county.
Answer this one quickly, Waziri.
Yes.
Because in the interest of time, our time is running out.
Right.
Na bado kuna maswali hayajajibiwa na mengine hayajaulizwa.
Yeah.
So just quickly on this one, what are we doing to conserve our environment?
To protect the green space and conserve our environment, I think first and foremost, I've said we have two major laws in the county that guide us or help us in protecting the environment, and also with the help of the national government. You know, we have FLOCA, and we are enabled to make sure that we have people at the ward level. These are ward climate change committees who help us, give us reports, and give us the actual situation on the ground, and we move in and be able to work with them to ensure that we have conserved our environment.
Asante. There was a question on trade rights.
Yes, a question on trade as well as on power. And of course, brand Nakuru as well. What's being done, to promote brand Nakuru? I know that I can see Dr. Mora is ready to answer the trade question, I believe.
As you answer that, Dr. Mora, Nancy Masharia is asking on Facebook, I'm a very hurt youth in this county. What's our space in this county if paying my new business license is so painful? Maze, can you imagine? Nilifungua business last year, August, ya kuuza mtumba. I paid 5,500 for a single business permit. I was told that by March, I need to pay another 5,500 for the same. Swali ni, mbona hivi? Sasa, like, hii busy yangu, ata profit ya 5,500 sijapata in those few months. Inauma manze. Because kanjoa all over my neck. Sahi hata siwezi fungua shop. It's barely a year since I paid that license. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Surely.
I will talk a bit about trade, then my colleague will talk about enterprise. On the issue of trade, to start with the last question about the licenses, the thing is that the license is valid in 1 calendar year. So if you come and pay your license towards the end of the calendar of that year, in the beginning of the next year, after a grace period, you still be required to pay some licenses. But it's a conversation you can have with them.
Sorry, it's valid during a calendar year?
During a financial year, sorry.
So if I pay in June, it's only valid until December?
Yes. So if you pay towards the end of that period, it means you could only operate with that license for 2 months. However, as a government, you have had such experiences, and we are a very responsive government. Yeah. And we realize when you start a business, though you require a license, you may not break even immediately.
Right.
So those are conversations we're having with the business persons. And recently,
to have it be valid for a year. If I pay in June, it's valid up to now June next year. That's I'm saying that's a conversation you're having.
The conversation we are having is, if you're starting your business midway, you're maybe 2 months to the end of the period, how can we facilitate you? Because if you give it a blanket approval, it will be subject to abuse and corruption. So we had a very big forum in Naivasha, for example, convened by the liquor traders of Naivasha. Those issues came up, and those who had issues, we were able to assist them. So for such incidences, because you can't give a blanket approval, they come forward and we're able to discuss with them.
So Nancy Masharia afanye nini sasa? Nancy Masharia hajafungua shop yake leo. Kanjo
mpe namba yangu
all over her neck.
Utampea namba yangu.
Na nauza mtumba.
Utampea namba yangu.
I know we don't have time, but I'm really trying to understand the issue in having a license that's valid for a year from the date I get it.
For a calendar year.
Yeah. The day I get it until from 12 months.
Let's say a license operates from January to January.
Yes.
That's a whole year.
Yes.
So you're supposed to pay for that license for you to do that business during that year. But if you want to start your business, and assuming you're starting your new business in November,
Yeah.
you still be required to have a license. But remember, when you pay for that license in November, it will be valid
expires
up to
in
January.
December.
Valid from November to the next November.
No,
Not in Nakuru.
That's how the policy is operating. Because
Not in
if,
Nakuru,
if you
Mario.
do that,
That's where the
it will be
issue
subject
is.
to abuse. But what we are saying, for such cases, we always respond. We're going to address such an issue. There are not very many incidences. They're only for those who are starting new businesses. So there are very few incidences. For ongoing businesses, we don't have such challenges. And those are the majority.
Okay. Maybe even talk of, I don't want to have too much on the same thing. But I'm starting to understand that bit.
logic,
Maybe go on after
It is a practice all over. I'm a licensed pharmacist. If I go and renew my license midway, I'll be given a license for the remaining period of the year. And that's a practice in Kenya. If you're a lawyer, if you don't apply your license and you apply late, you'll be given for the remaining period of the year.
That's for a professional license. For a business license, I don't know though. But let's maybe move on and then we can pick up that.
There was an issue of marketing Nakuru County and the impact the county has had in terms of businesses. And I have to say that the reason why Her Excellency the Governor didn't make today, and the reason we don't have the Minister for Trade, Agriculture and Lands, they're having a small investment conference with some investors in Nairobi. The thing is that since Her Excellency came in, there are these big investment conferences that we have been doing since devolution as a county. We did a review and we didn't see any impact. We haven't seen an investor who have come in because of those conferences that were done before. However, we have done a series of targeted conferences or investment conferences. We had one sometimes in 2023 in Naivasha, and there's a similar one going on. What is the impact of this investment? Because we can see real-time impact on this. One, in the last 2 years, Nakuru County has become the second largest county GDP in Kenya. It has overtaken, we were number 3 before, now we are number 2. The second thing that has happened to Nakuru through the initiative in trade and agriculture is that we are the largest producer of potato in Kenya. We have overtaken Nyandarua. We are now the largest producer of milk in Kenya. We have overtaken Kiambu. We have remained the largest producer of paradram in Kenya. This intervention is because of the support that is going to the agriculture sector and also the conducive business environment that is there. Out of the investment conference that was done at the beginning, which was targeted to specific institution, we had, for example, the Valley Hospital, which has been renovated. They were there in that investment conference talking to potential investors, and we can see the work that has been done there. If you go to Naivasha, there's a big factory that is coming up, being done by Kentagra, one of our strategic partners in the area of paradram. That came from those engagements with the investors. There's a company called Fortescue, Kenya now Naivasha ICD, the Naivasha ICD, working with the national government, and the president talked about it when we visited State House earlier in the week. We have, for example, a company called Fortescue that is coming up with a solution for fertilizer and green hydrogen using geothermal. So there's a lot of effort that is being done in a targeted way, and we can already start seeing fruits of those efforts.
If I just take what Bona Chairman of the Business Association was asking, this how all these things are happening, but the business community would like to benefit from this by proper branding. So, for example, the farmers of Nakuru, who are doing so well and being now the largest producers of waru, they'd like people to know that waru ya Nakuru, your best.
Same way we say cash crop ni waru.
People would like to know that maziwa ya Nakuru you're the best in Kenya, and so on and so forth. Sindio Chairman, it's about branding. Yes, you're doing very well and you're attracting investors, but how about now the people who are already invested here?
And that's true, and that's why we are doing this investment conference. And the other things we are doing towards improving branding of the county is to form, because branding is all about marketing. So these people are being formed into cooperatives. For example, we have a very strong cooperative union which is being supported, so that their products that are going into the market also go with their brand. That cooperative is being supported by the county government of Nakuru. About 2 years ago, a year ago, they even bought 4 tractors by the county government to be able to facilitate their farming. So the strategy of branding and marketing, we are taking it around cooperatives, because you can only brand a product. We have to brand a product that is being produced by somebody. So that's something we are working on. And we have also had a lot of trade conferences and trade engagements within the county to try and give the business people an opportunity to bring their products. For example, in the youth space, there's a time we had a very big youth market here, just behind Merika. We have some stores here between the National Bank and Merika. We want to start a similar initiative in Naivasha, because branding, you have to brand a product. You have to brand people who are working on something like a cooperative. So that's something we are working on. There's something that they asked about the Nakuru being a logistic hub. If you listen to Her Excellency the Governor's speech when we met the President, one of the requests is that the discussion about SGR going to all the way to Malaba and Kisumu is that we need to first move it now from Naivasha, which is already a logistics hub as we speak, to bring it closer to Nakuru city, so that again we can also increase interconnectivity to the inlands, to the heartlands of Nakuru, places like Baringo and Nyandarua. They'll be able to transport their goods through the county. There's an issue of the property tax, that there's a proposal to increase the property tax, and what are we doing as a mitigation. There was a big discussion sometimes last year about the Nakuru valuation role, and some people went to court, and what we are doing is to engage with them, so that when we now start doing the Rating Act as a mitigation, we can agree on a rate with the community. So that now, because the Rating Act is the one that will now prescribe the percentage of the value of the property, and therefore determine how much will be charged. Therefore, that one, there's a committee that has been formed. We are trying to negotiate to get out of court, so that now the rate now that we are going to fix will be acceptable, and the rate will not, the amount that will be paid eventually will not be very high. So that's a mitigation to make sure that the value of property doesn't go too high. There's a question on benefit of geothermal to Nakuru County. First of all, there's a big benefit in terms of employment, because we have so many companies that are working in Nakuru County doing research and exploring geothermal. But for the first time, we are having the first geothermal data center, just like my brother was requesting, being set up in Naivasha. It will be run from geothermal, and therefore it is a center that will be the first in Africa and in the world. There's a question of TSES, which is also facilitating business. I can see the CEO for infrastructure is with us. He'll be able to answer that. And towards trade, there's also a question of farm inputs and that have been given to the Department of Agriculture.
Yep.
I have to report that it's true. There are some strategic inputs that have been supported by the government to the community. We have the value chain of avocado. We have the value chain of potato. For example, they benefit a lot from fertilizer and those tractors that were bought. Maize, this year about 20,000 bags of maize were distributed to 10,000 farmers. The focus was the vulnerable, the people living with disability, and those having a very poor community, members of the community, so they are living and can also be uplifted. There was also a question of trade within the municipalities. Yes, we have 2 new municipalities, that is Gilgil and Molo. And the immediate benefit is that they're able to get and plan better, because within the municipalities, one of the requirements is that you have to have a huge population. Today, after this function, we'll be handing over the first carboying of Gilgil town to a contractor, a project that is that will help to improve the face of the town, and also the condition of doing business within that town. A similar project is going on in Molo, and I have to report last year, one of the biggest benefit to Molo municipality, they were able to rehabilitate their bus park in Molo. And it's now in a good cab road standard, and they have additional funding for rehabilitation of a second bus park there. In the coming budget, they have been allocated additional funding for completion of cabring of the 2 towns, and additionally they have been given 15 million each to be able to tackle to deal with the stadium in the 2 municipalities. So those are some of the immediate benefits that we have been able to accrue from the municipalities. On the issue of the TSES, it is that since devolution, KTDA has been cutting TSES from these farmers. That money has been retained by KTDA because of some lack of some procedures, some legislative procedures. For the last 2 years, something that was not done for 10 years, the legal instruments that were needed were put in place, the committees were put in place. I can report that the money, the first tranche was released, the procurement has been done, and this money is going to be able to open up those roads that are supporting the TSES farmers. However, we have the CEO for infrastructure seated behind you. He could be able to elaborate more a bit on the roads that are being targeted within Kuresoi area for that. Thank you.
CEO, you know, we have 5 minutes. We're actually closing. Na swali ya youth and women haijaulizwa. Na mambo ya fertilizer, jibu fertilizer haraka haraka. Tusikie swali.
Fertilizer haraka haraka.
Alafu yule mama.
Na kuna pia enterprise. So for fertilizer, it's true people used to come to Nakuru to collect their fertilizer. We only had about 6 fertilizer distribution centers. People would stay there for 3, 4, 5 days. But now we have around 22 distribution centers. We're also working with cooperatives through our transport system to make sure we transport for them. And therefore, an area like Dondori, somebody just comes out of their home next to Dondori, they get fertilizer distributed there. Gilgil, we have a place called Kiambogo where fertilizer is being distributed, and therefore it has had a huge impact towards helping these farmers. There was a question on 5% people living with disability.
Yes.
And I have to say, we are very transparent. All those people, all the employments that have happened for the last 2.5 years since Her Excellency came in, all those people living with disability who qualified were all employed. But you are working towards meeting the 5%. So sometimes you don't get the numbers.
Asante.
Thank you.
Asante. Mama kona mic. Uliza ile swali, alafu tukuja kwa youth.
My name is Amasio Cheng.
Yes.
I'm a youth. I'm a leader. As I stand here, I stand with different capes. And I will tell my fellow youth, we have a government that we elected in place, and we will stick to support the government that is in place of the day. One thing, we should not always be criticizing the government. Sometimes we should seek dialogue with them. One thing I've heard, Mr. CS, you are just saying about the government. Kindly seek about the private engagement with the government. That is one way to go. The second thing is about the youth. The youth are paying the same taxes with the other people. Currently, we are in an environment, and let me tell you, we pay a license of 20,000 the same way a person who has retired pays. Why? What is it that is favoring us, the youth? On the trade, I would like to urge you people, you have said you are employing. Why is it that when we pay our license, we have to go and wait again for 2 weeks to get that license? If it is possible, license, you go. The other thing is about the license, and I would encourage Bwana CS, any other county where you pay your license late, that is your issue. A license is supposed to be only valid for 1 year. If I start my business in December, I pay for that December, the next year, that is financial year, it has ended. It goes to the next year. The other thing is about maternal death, and I will rise and stick on my feet. Madam Rosalind, I've always told you, maternal death, we were beyond 0, and currently it is above 0. And yet you are doing nothing about maternal death. It is so worrying, such that even me as a mother, I'm not even confident if I will go to give birth at PGH, and that is our level 6 hospital. Kindly look at the health. On the issue of security, it's not a matter to, I told you, I'll have, on the issue of security, on the issue of security, let us not meddle with security. Security is what makes us as business people prosper. If you joke with our security, you are joking even with our taxes. I rest my case.
Maybe to answer the issue of Wezesha, Excellency also under the Department of Trade and Cooperatives, Excellency have allocated 100 million for Wezesha that will support self-help groups and cooperative societies within Nakuru County. And on 29 last month, we were able to launch 100 million. So through the leadership of Her Excellency, we have been able to disperse more than 18 million to self-help groups, and also over 21 million to cooperative societies within Nakuru County. These groups and cooperatives cut across the whole county of Nakuru. And eligibility, that one of our youth have asked, what is the eligibility to get this enterprise fund? One of them is that you must have a self-help certificate, you must also have a bank statement, and also we must have a minutes for the group, and also you must have a proposal for you to get. We are partnered together with KCB Bank, so I will encourage the residents of Nakuru County to visit the nearest KCB Bank within Nakuru County, but also the directive for Excellency is that as department, as a directorate, we are going to the grassroots, to villages, to meet those mama mboga, vijana to boda boda, so that they can get this fund. Because this is one of the governor's vision under the second vision that focuses on trade and business. So as county government of Nakuru, I will urge the people that governor is passionate to support self-help groups and also to support cooperative societies. Lastly,
wacha tusikie, asante.
Lastly,
wacha tusikie swali ya mwisho.
Okay.
Because
thank
time, ubaya hii jua ilifunguliwa late.
My name's Anne Mwezaga, a resident of Nakuru County, Biashara Ward, where you are today. My first question is, what innovative solutions are being implemented in Nakuru to address the youth unemployment and create sustainable job opportunities? That is one. Two, the reason called by the Nakuru County officials urged the government to ensure a reliable monthly supply of sanitary towels in public schools. such like textbooks. How realistic and well-funded is this promise? 3, I would like to ask our CEO for Enterprise Fund. There are those people who are in CRBs. Utapata kiongozi kwa hiyo group ako kwa CRB. So anafanya hiyo group isipate pesa. Utaweza kusaidia aje hiyo group, huyo kiongozi aweze kusaidiwa kulipa hiyo CRB yake, ndio watu waanze kuaccess hii Enterprise Fund yenye Governor Susan ameletea wananchi iwasaidie.
Utajibu hiyo ya mwisho
direct ya CRB
in a minute.
Ningependa kuambia Wakenya kulipa deni. Na pia there is one way we want to do what we usually advise our people is that if you have some CRB mainly is caused by people not paying their debts. Maybe 1 bob, 20 bob, 50
sawa,
so you can visit, yes.
If a leader of a group is on CRB, yes, and the group would like to access the money,
yes,
what do you want them to do?
First, that leader can go to the bank and pay the debt. Second is that not all, it's only the people who are in CRB, the leaders only. So you get 20 people in a group, maybe few leaders are in CRB. So the next, option B is that we can take one of the members who is not in CRB and put that place of maybe secretary or treasurer, because that one person cannot deny the entire group not to get a fund. And this fund has a low interest rate. For example, Silver Group have an interest rate at 8%. Cooperative society is 6%. CRB watu walipe deni.
Kama mtu wako CRB hiyo group yote yumie.
Hapana, tunaweza chukua mmoja wao ambaye hayuko kwa CRB
so change leadership.
Yes, that is it. Thank you.
Wacha tufunge. Guys, we're completely out of time. It's actually past 10 a.m. We do have to say goodbye, but I want to thank you so much for making time. Sionekani hapo. Haya, ndio mimi. Right, there we go. It's a wrap for our Micro Ground at Nakuru County, Nakuru City. Thank you so much. Jipatieni a round of applause. You've been a wonderful, wonderful audience. We have to love you and leave you now. 6 to 10 a.m. we'll be back here on Monday, not in Nakuru, but back kwa ground ingine. That's in the Nairobi CBD. Of course, we'll be back with Janet as well. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Hashtag is Fixing the Nation NTV. Tell us what more conversations you want to have. But from the people of Nakuru County, to the people of Nakuru County, thank you so much for a warm welcome to Patane 6 to 10 a.m. High five.
Asante sana. Nakuru Fixers, oye!
Oh yeah.
Fixing the nation, one conversation at a time.